Hello everybody, my name is Toast, and today I want to talk about Subnautica 2. However, before we get into it and play it tomorrow for the very first time, I think some things need to be covered. As the title suggests, I will be talking about every single thing that I have noticed and looked at across all media that has been talked about for Subnautica 2, released by Unknown Worlds in either their YouTube, in the Discord, in the subreddit, anywhere I can get the information. I'm going to be relaying it to you all. So, the first things, and kind of this is how I want to structure this video, is we're going to go over overarching game features and story elements that we know are in the game. Next, I will go over the new building features, the modular building, different things that you are able to put in your base, menus, things like that. Along with that, I'll be covering the vehicles, be covering the Tadpole and its different chassis modules and what you can do with those. After that, we will cover character customization, the biomods, and look at what those can provide for the player. Next, I will cover the fauna, flora, and resources that are within the new planet that we will be on. Some official names have been released, and I will be using those for the animals. Otherwise, I will be using very fun names that I have come up with for all of them because I think that's how you should name animals. Lastly, I will be covering things that are totally subjective. My personal thoughts on the game, speculations, things I would like to see possibly in the future as a way to maybe put ideas out there for the community and for the dev team to possibly look at. And that'll be it. I will leave you informed with everything that you need to know about Subnautica 2. But first things first, I want to cover some very important things before I even cover everything else. Two big things right now. You can go buy Subnautica 2 right now. Go buy it. If you are watching this video, I believe you want to play Subnautica 2. So go, buy it now. If you own Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero already, you can buy, at least on Steam, a bundle that will give you 10% off, so the game will only cost $27 instead of $30. If you don't, the game will still cost $30. But once again, they've said that pre-release will cost less than the full one. And hey, if you're here watching this video right now, you might as well be there for the whole ride of Subnautica 2's development. I'm not part of their PR team. I'm just an excited fan, and I think you should go buy it now. Additionally, if we go to their store page and we no longer look at the fact that I've bought the game already, I think this is the biggest thing that we should cover. As a fan of the game and the franchise, it became pretty clear over the summer and fall, and even to some extent the winter of 2025, there were some legal issues and proceedings surrounding Subnautica 2, covering Unknown Worlds Entertainment and Crafton. Well, as you can see, Crafton is no longer on the game's page. If we look at other games that have been released by Unknown Worlds Entertainment, namely Moonbreaker, you can see here, Crafton Incorporated, publisher. Not the case for Subnautica 2. That's big news. I think that should be big news for all of us, because that means that Unknown Worlds came out on top, and we will be getting a game that we know will be made for the fans, by fans, and won't be held back by corporate proceedings. With that all out of the way, next we'll go into actual information that I have found on Subnautica 2. Hey, editing Carno here. Before I go any further, I want to give a special thank you to Artyom, or Artie, for helping me with doing some research on the videos. Did not know he was part of the dev team until he mentioned it when I was on my stream, and I just wanted to thank him for being there to help with the community and their pursuit of knowledge. This is a testament to the type of people that are working on this game and shows you just the type of people that we are supporting. So thank you, Artie. All right, starting off our list today on everything that you need to know about Subnautica before it releases, we're going to cover story. So some of the first things that were shown was in the Subnautica 2 teaser trailer on October 17th of 2024. Way back, the first thing we ever saw. Immediately, if you looked in the background of the start of the trailer, you can see some ruins. So when you look at these ruins that I've highlighted here in this picture, you can see they're very clearly not Altera buildings. At least not to me, right? If you look on the right, you see the one that I've circled there. I don't feel like that looks like coral. That to me looks like kind of rebar or the interior supports to a building, right? That one on the left looks like a dome. That one's kind of the weakest of my examples, but that one in the middle, it is circular, yes, but a lot of the buildings that we've seen have been square, and I recognize you can make circular buildings with the modular tools, but to me it just doesn't feel like it is of Altera construction, because once again, I also feel like it's got a lot of possibly growth on it. I feel like I see some grasses growing on it. To me, it just doesn't feel like it's Altera. It feels like somebody else built it. What looks like ancient architecture. Some of the next things we learned was in the Q&A on June 3rd, 2025. And that is that we will have a silent protagonist. We're returning to that. So there will be, as it is known now and was shown in that first teaser trailer, there will be multiplayer in the game. Your protagonist will be silent. And I believe that applies for all players. So if you are playing single player, obviously you'll have a silent protagonist. But if you are doing multiplayer, I do not believe the characters themselves will talk between each other, other than obviously you possibly talking to your friends. To me, I think the first big things that we got was in the gameplay reveal teaser on July 9th of 2025. We learned about Altera's Cicada, which is a ship that was traveling across the stars to get to Zazura, but never made it there. We learned some more about this Altera Cicada crew and their ruins, but not really told anything. It's more just through some visual storytelling. And once again, this reveal trailer is also where we learn about the official name Zazura, where the crew was meant to be going. And then some of the next really big story drops we got was from the Voices from Beyond audio drama. Episode 1, Don't Fear, told us that we are once again going to possibly be interacting with the Mongolian independent states, which was first talked about with the Degassi crew all the way back in the first Subnautica. We'll learn about this Altera Pioneer program. We learned that Zazura is a desert planet, as well as the Karar is mentioned, not by name, but as a bacterium. So the next thing we learn is in Voices from Beyond Episode 2, Dreamers. They are talking about preventing the spread of the Karar in that audio drama, as well as we learn that there is unrest among the Mongolian state citizens, which, while there might not be any direct implications in that upon the game, it is something to note within the story. Episode 3, Pioneers, I think gave us the most to sink our teeth in terms of story. Karar is officially mentioned by name in that audio drama. We learned that Cicada is a Altera ship, and that it is a part of this Pioneer program and will be taking people to Zazura. In this one, Zazura is characterized as an oasis planet, or at least the location where they're going is, because Zazura is a desert planet, and I am assuming there's also a map that is shown in one of the audio dramas that there's a locale that has water, and I believe that is to be the oasis on Zazura that is mentioned in this audio drama. Zazura is also mentioned to be a locale with a possible cure for the Karar, which is big news as it has been cured, but that was with Enzyme 42 back in the first Subnautica. The protagonist of this audio drama joins the Cicada crew and leaves his family behind to become a pioneer. In episode 4, titled Lost, we learn that the Cicada is lost in space and that they don't know where it is. And then in episode 5, we learn that Cicada has been rocked off course. The game takes place on a moon of Zazura, not on Zazura itself, and that the Cicada has 40,000 people on board as compared to 189 on the original Aurora. From the Subnautica 2 Early Access release trailer on the 30th, where we learned about the release date, we also learn about this mysterious tree artifact. We learn about the big tree and get a better look at it finally, in the Subnautica 2 early access trailer posted on May 9th, we got, I think, visually the most significant information about the story. And that is that the cicada crew crashed on this planet, or possibly part of the ship, maybe not the whole thing. 40,000 people is a lot. That could have been a very big ship that could have crashed among many different moons of this planet. But we get two narrators in this first trailer. One is, I believe, with the Altera Pioneer program. It's very obvious it's the first speaker that talks. However, if you notice, there are switches between the two. One's more Russian, maybe Mongolian, but the other voice is more ethereal in tone. And some of the things that they say, I think, are very important to note. This ethereal narrator tells us to forget Noah and to forget Altera. Noah is the noetic advisor, the little ball in our life pod. He says his name at the very start. So this voice is clearly calling us away from Altera and wants us to join them in a way. They say also that you will die over and over again, which I don't think is a nod to the fact that you can just play on survival mode where if you die, you don't die forever. And then finally, at the very end of it, they say you'll join us soon enough. While this might be better suited for the speculation area, I believe that our two narrators are one with Altera or the Pioneer program, while the other is an architect, possibly a new alien, or what I truly want to believe is the Collector. I believe the Collector is speaking to us. I don't think you get a name like the Collector Leviathan for no reason, and I have reason to believe that the Collector might be collecting voices or Altera personnel. But we'll see when the full game comes out. As for the story, that's all I really have. To summarize, you are part of a either reconnaissance or cleanup crew, I believe, that has been sent to look for the crew of the cicada. And while you are there, you find something alien. Altera may or may not have known about it already. And you will discover the mysteries within the planet, within this moon of Zezera. That's all we really have concretely. Other than that, it's just speculation on my part. But for now, that's all we really have for story. And we will be moving on to talking about the new modular building system and the new vehicle, the Tadpole. So starting off with modular building, we first learned about that in the Subnautica 2 roadmap on April 23rd of 2025. Later in the year, in the Q&A on June 3rd, it was officially announced that we were going to have modular building options. The next thing that we saw was on the gameplay reveal trailer released on July 9th of 2025. We saw that we had new tools. We had a scanner that has a possible resource deposit scanning functionality. We saw an axe. We had a new repulsor cannon that can both break environmental resources and interactables, as well as push away hostile or non-hostile fauna. We got a look at the Sea Glide gauntlets, which are officially named Wake Makers, and we saw that there is a new flashlight design for the game. We also got to look at some new modular building parts. There is a force field entry this time instead of it being a hatch. We have a return of the Stay Calm poster. There is a look at the new window system. And then we got a new look at what a moon pool will look like. Now, we didn't hear too much until the devlog for multiplayer on February 10th of 2026. We saw that there is a new base control module. I forgot to make a note that this base voice control, I believe, is also the noetic advisor. And display cases for whatever you please, I guess. The big one that we saw a lot of reveals on was on the devlog, specifically around bases, which was released on March 12th of 2026. We got to see more modular base parts, a look at an energy production / consumption meter to easier monitor your base's energy production and consumption, as the meter is so aptly named. We got a look at some ocean floor tiles. They just allow you to let water into your base, which I believe is the new moon pool. I don't believe there is a prefab for it. I believe these new ocean tiles are what the moon pool is. We learned that the Wakemaker, or Sea Glide Gauntlets as I like to call them, do require a quick slot, so they're not just something you can put in your character's inventory, or like equip like fins or the rebreather in the first Subnautica. We have outdoor planters, and there's a new system for that as well, where you no longer plant the seeds like putting them into the slot. The seeds are actually interactable with your base builder. We got a small look at the new HUD, which is now up in the top left, with a possible compass that does not require a modification to have, as well as we saw a new icon for the bio mods. We also saw that resource costs are incremental. It's not just 1, 2, or 3. It's like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. In the video, it even showed that the developer, whoever was working on it, had 0.03 of a resource in their inventory. So it could even go more incremental than just by 0.25. We see that there are now floating power pylons. They don't need to be directly connected to the sea floor. Posters are now craftable. As I mentioned earlier, the moon pool is not a set base piece. There are building restrictions on curves and things like that. And then there's a possible air filtration system, as denoted by just a few things in the menu. Lastly, in the dev Q&A on May 9th of 2026, we learned that there will be no color customization for the base or vehicles on launch, that there will be craftable toys in the game that serve no, I guess, survival purpose. They're purely there for your entertainment and joy to look at. And then in the Subnautica 2 First Dive showcase on May 9th of 2026, we learned that there are hydropower generators, which utilize the new environmental hazard system, as I like to call it. There are decorative pots and plants. There's a new inventory and base builder system, as well as a new botany system / grow bed system. And that is all I have for buildings and those types and kind of tools as well. And then next we will move on to the Tadpole. The Tadpole will be the only vehicle at the start of Subnautica's early access, but we know that more are coming down the road. Speaking of the Tadpole though, we saw this all the way back in Subnautica 2's teaser trailer on October 17th of 2024. While it was not named yet, we did see what it looked like in its base form. Now, next in the Q&A on June 3rd, 2025, we learned that there will be no returning vehicles, so no Sea Moth, Prawn, Sea Truck, or Cyclops. However, there will be a new late game sub and another mech suit added to the game. In the gameplay reveal teaser on July 9th of 2025, we learned that the Tadpole has multiplayer functionality, so players are able to hold on to the handrails that are built into the Tadpole, and that there is a modular system that allows you to add fins to the Tadpole. Now, these fins were later talked about in the devlog specifically for the Tadpole on December 9th in 2025, and it was named the chassis system. There is also another one that was shown later on that is used for transporting players in a different way, and more resources can be stored in that one. However, it does come at the cost of moving slower. The fastest way you can move is with the fin chassis. To reiterate some things in the dev Q&A on May 4th of 2026, we learned that Tadpole is the only one that will be released. There will be 2 chassis upon release, which are the wings and the hauler chassis. A mech suit and a large endgame sub will come later down the road. There will be no color customization for the Tadpole on launch. You are able to attach tools to the Tadpole. The ones so far that we saw in the Subnautica 2 dive showcase on the 9th was a light mod, and then the portable lockers are allowed to be attached onto the Tadpole as well. And with that, that's everything that we know about the Tadpole. And next we will move on to what we know about the character and their customization. Alright, so when it comes to character customization, we didn't find anything out until the Q&A on June 3rd of 2025, where we learned that there will be no proximity chat for the character and that characters will be pre-designed with more customization coming down the road and more character pre-selects to choose from. Once again, we have a silent protagonist. In the devlog on the Collector Leviathan on September 16th of 2025, we got a preview of the DNA biomod system that the character will be utilizing. On December 9th of 2025, we saw that there were 5 quick slots, whereas previously there had been showing 4, I believe, quick slots. And expandability on that might be a biomod, as in a later area, we also saw that 6 quick slots was a possibility for the character to have. In the devlog on multiplayer, we saw the possibility of there may be poses or emotes for the character to utilize. And then in the dev Q&A on May 4th of 2026, we learned a little bit more about the character. There will be an in-game friends list and cross-platform capabilities, so you will be able to play with your friends if they're on Xbox or PC. Every character is a canon protagonist and is part of the story. Proximity chat, they said, is highly probable for the future because they have seen everybody talk about them. When you die, a black box will be left behind, and they said it themselves that it is a spine grafted tech that is left behind when you die. So there's that. And then in the future, there is a possibility for robot pet companions for the character to utilize. We've seen a few other things, like in the Subnautica 2 First Dive Showcase. We saw some biomods. I believe there might be a temperature one. There could be one that is the compass that shows up on your HUD. There, I think, might be another one for a speed boost. Once again, this is all speculation on my end, but that is what we've seen before. And I think one of the best things that they have provided, there is no host tether for when you're playing on multiplayer. So the host does not get any priority over the people that are playing with them. And with that, that's all I have for character customization. There wasn't a whole lot that we were given. A few things that I am remembering off the top of my head, I believe there's 25 inventory slots, and I'm assuming that is expandable with biomods. I think biomods are going to be a really integral aspect to this game. As I said, I believe quick slots will be expandable with biomods. We saw a temperature meter. I believe that might be a biomod or just an upgrade to the character as well. And then it's looking very reminiscent to the original Subnautica with how the character's inventory is laid out. We are looking at 25 inventory slots, 5 slots for equipment. 1 will be a rebreather, 1 will be a backpack, 1 will be gloves, 1 will be fins, 1 will be a bodysuit, and then I believe there are at least two biomods that the character can have equipped at any one time. With that, that's all I have for character customization. Next up, we'll be covering fauna, flora, minerals, resources, and new biomes added to the game. Alright, so moving on to fauna, flora, resources, and biomes that will be in Subnautica 2. Starting off with fauna, we know of, at the very least, 24 creatures that will be in the game. 23 at release, but I am sure there will be more. So we know of 6 Leviathans currently, 5 will be here at release. The Crab Leviathan, the Void Leviathan, the Clam Leviathan, the Collector Leviathan, and then either the Deepwing Brooder or a Mystery Leviathan that was shown off during the Collector devlog. Now, we know of 6 hostile fauna in the game. There is the Packy Fish, the Jaw Shark, the Nibbler Mango, the Bobbit Shark, the Spearfish, and the Angler. Editing Carno back. I just looked at the Subnautica 2 store page and realized there was a creature I missed. I'm gonna call him the Mean Flower, and yup, there is 1 sessile anemone, which is the Necroragians, and then there will be 11 passive fauna in the game. We don't have names for all of them, but we have, at the very least, the Blue Moon, the Jeticaris, the Four Eyes, and then the Electric Geordie, while I believe is passive, still has the ability to deactivate your submarine like the Crab Squid from Subnautica 1. As for abilities that we know, Fauna have currently. The Packy Fish will ram both the player and their submarine. We know, once again, something like the Jaw Shark can attack the submarine and the player. The Nibbler Mango will most likely be able to do the same. Maybe not attack your submarine because it is smaller, but we'll see when we're in the game. We know for a fact that the Bobbit Shark can attack the player. If you hit their sensory organ, it will come out of the ground and attack you. The Spearfish can shoot spears at you, and then the Anglerfish that we saw in one of the trailers may or may not be able to attack the player. We'll see. I assume it might operate, though, similar to the Biter. As for Leviathans, we know that the Crab Leviathan can walk around. I believe it will be a passive creature, but we will see. Once again, Void Leviathan, we have no abilities currently on that one. The Clam Leviathan, we know, will have a pearl, possibly something else, in the center of the creature, but if you hit one of its little sensory organ bridges that are inside the mouth, it will start to close. The Broodwing, we have nothing but an outline for currently, and then the Collector is honestly the most finished creature that we have a look at, as we know the Collector can both grab the player and eat them, and grab your submarine and throw it. We know that the Collector has some sort of sound wave attack. We are currently unsure of what its ability is on the player, whether it stuns them or not. Moving on to flora in the game, we know of about 9 or 10 options. There are 8 plantables that we know of, plus the flower that you can use the propulsion cannon on to open up and get the biomods. And then additionally, there is the oxygen refill plant. However, I am unsure if that is one of the plantable flora or not. As for resources in the game, we know that there will be the classic titanium, silver, quartz, copper, gold, things like that. However, looking at one of the snapshots from the devlog regarding building the world, there are some new resources pictured here. We have a pink kind of salt looking resource. To the right of it, there is a either redesign for crystalline sulfur or something completely new. And then the orange and green crystal to the left of the developer's icon, I believe is something entirely new, but we will see when we are in the game. As for biomes, we know that there are 2, quote, regions of the game that they have said have about 10 biomes within them. We currently know of 3 different cave biomes. One's kind of a red cave, another is similar to the Twisty Bridges cave from Below Zero, and then there's one which we saw in the Dev First Dive that had the Jetacaris in it. We know of the Safe Shallows area that we've seen that has the rock outcroppings and kind of the arches, and it's very colorful. We know of the Anemone seabeds. We know of 2 possible spire locations that we got a peek at in the devlog, and then lastly we know of island locations and the tree. However, there's no current proof that the tree is a reachable locale. And with that, that's everything that I have for fauna, flora, resources, and biomes that will be in Subnautica 2. Next up will be my personal thoughts, speculations, and anything else that I have to say about the game. Alright, so before I get on to my thoughts and speculations for the game, I want to cover a few more things that I didn't really have a good place to put in, but are still very important for people to know. Xbox and PC are the only playable platforms. There will be no local split screen, so it will have to be 2 separate consoles or devices for you to play with your friends. Crossplay is available, so Xbox and PC will play together. If you have Xbox Game Pass, you will be able to get it for free on day 1. Additionally, if you are buying Subnautica on Steam, it will cost $30. However, if you already own Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero, you can get Subnautica 2 for $27 in the Subnautica Deep Ocean bundle. There is unfortunately no VR support or official modding support during early access, but we'll see where that goes down the road. Additionally, there are shared saves between players and between single player and multiplayer, so if you are playing with your friend and you maybe want to play on that world that you all have together, that save can be shared with you. So the host doesn't really matter. because once again, there's no host tether, so whoever is playing on the world and has more progress on it, you can play on that world. Additionally, they have said that there's better world loading. I've noticed that that is somewhat of an issue in the old game, so I'm glad that they are improving that. All the voices in this game are real people. They are no longer using text-to-speech as they've done in the past for the PDA, and then additionally there's no AI voices as well. The pre-order opened for the game on May 10th, so as I've said already many times, go buy it right now. I don't think you'll want to miss this experience. They have said that no biomes are finalized, but they also don't expect there will be any major overhauls to them either. The current ending of early access will not be the ending to the game. They have said that it will be a cliffhanger. They're estimating about 2 to 3 years of development, and during the whole early access stage that they have said that they will essentially be expanding the mid-game experience. So the start and the end for now will be relatively consistent, whereas they will be adding new things for that in between, the real meaty part of the game. They've also said that not all biomes and sub-biomes are fully planned, so if we want to give them any ideas for biomes, go on right ahead and share them. We will be getting a Reaper Leviathan statue if you buy it within the first week of the game, but I believe that they have changed that to now everybody gets access to that statue. Additionally, there was a Twitch drop for the Seamoth statue, which will be returning, so if you didn't get it during the first dive showcase, it will come back. Additionally, there is a Sea Dragon poster that comes with the Deepwing Brooder art contest. They've also said that that poster will be able to be claimed at other times. The Jaw Shark at the Cicada Wreck Lander Garage, his name is Gary. That is canon now. And with that, that's the rest of my notes. And now I'll just go on to me yapping and talking about what I'm hopeful for this game, maybe what I want to see in the future, and things of that nature. Alright, to finish off this video, I want to just put out speculations for how I believe this story will unfold, and some things that I want to see added to the game without knowing what's in the game yet, which seems a little preemptive, but I want to do it anyway. So first off, I think the story is going to be as follows. We are not part of the Pioneer program. We are part of an alternate Altera crew, or possibly Degassi. I'll stick with Altera. We are part of an Altera crew that has been sent to go search for the wreckage of the Cicada. There is parts of the ship, or maybe the whole ship, has crashed onto this moon of Zezera. Over the course of the game, we will discover that, I'm thinking similar to the first Subnautica, something has either shot the ship down or pulled the ship into the planet/moon's orbit, and that is why the ship crashed there. As we saw with some of that alien architecture, I believe it's got something to do with them. I believe the Collector is actually going to be a more focal enemy than just something that swims around. I believe that they have story significance similar to the Sea Emperor, as we've seen, and as I talked about in the trailer, there is that ethereal voice. We saw the Sea Emperor talk to us. I believe that the Collector will fill somewhat of a similar role. And in the end, we will find out why the Cicada crew crashed and what happened to the ship. In terms of things that I would like to see added to the game, it's not that many right now, because once again, I have not played it. I haven't really gotten to toy around with the modular building pieces, which is definitely what I'll probably have the most input on. But I would love to see a return of the jukebox from Below Zero. As silly of a take as it might seem, that was genuinely my favorite part of Below Zero, the jukebox. Every single time I get to the game, when I build a base, I immediately put a jukebox down, and then I will put speakers throughout my whole base, just so I can walk through and listen to music while I'm playing. I understand that Spotify is a functionality, YouTube Premium, Apple Music. I recognize that there's a lot of music functionality, but the fact that it was game-specific music, I've thought it was really special and a nice nod to the community, so I would like to see a return of that function or something similar to the game. Thank you for watching this video. If you've made it here to the end, I'm going to put up some pictures of the giveaway items, so scan those QR codes, join the giveaway, make sure you're a part of it so that you might be a lucky winner. Before I let you all go, I want to let you all know about my VOD channel, Carnotos VODs. I've been putting up old streams on there, but Right now I will be putting up the research that I did for this video. That stream will be put on there, as well as my streams of Subnautica 2 before they become videos. So if you want to stay caught up with how I'm doing in the game, my VODs will be there, as well as going and checking out my Twitch channel, Carnotoast117. That's where you can catch me in real time playing the game. Once again, thank you to the Subnautica 2 dev team for crafting a wonderful game. Thank you to Unknown Worlds for making this universe for us to enjoy. And with that, I hope to see you all tomorrow in Subnautica 2. I will be streaming it on my Twitch channel, Carnotoast117. It will be linked in the description. The game releases for me at 11 a.m. EST. I will probably be streaming at around 10 a.m. EST. I will stream modded Subnautica, and then I will jump straight into Subnautica 2 once that drops for me. I hope to see you there, and have a great rest of your day, and enjoy the dive.